Hey guys, Ted from Nerdarchy here, for Nerds by Nerds. With me is
Eric Stave.
And today we're diving back into the Unearthed Arcana. This time we're talking Sorcerers. Hey guys, jump down to the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So, Unearthed Arcana has resumed its march through all of the classes, and we have Sorcerer. And we didn't get one, two, or even three archetypes, or origins, I should say. We got 4 Sorcerer's origins. And I'm pretty impressed with this Unearthed Arcana. There's like 2 of them that I feel are really good. One of them, the other 2 are really flavorful, and the other one goes back to an earlier discussion we've had about Gish classes.
Right. Favored Soul was put out in a previous iteration, right?
Yes, it was, and this is completely different from that.
It's completely different. I think it's pretty cool. It's not all about healing the way the other one was. So some people are going to be like, well, does this replace the other one? Is this just a different version and we can use both? However you want to do it.
Favorite Soul is really cool in the sense that you have access to cleric spells when you learn spells, right?
Yes.
So that is very cool in itself, but that got me thinking, like when you talk about the cure spells and you go distance spell, twin spell, the effectiveness of the Favorite Soul healer can actually kind of outstrip the cleric. Now, I meant to look at Life Cleric before we started this video to see the exact wording on their domain ability. It's like, what does one dip of Cleric do for this Sorcerer origin? Because I know you get to add your modifier to the healing, right? Isn't that the thing? Yeah. Where it gives you a bonus. But depending on that wording, it could make it even better. I don't know, guys. Sorry, I forgot to look it up before we started rolling.
It's too much going on in February.
But that being said, even twin, and you're double the healing, right, for your sorcery points, or distant going, oh, well, I don't actually have to run into the thick of things.
I'm going to hear you from here, guys. I'm going to hear you from here.
Yeah, especially, you got a die 6 hit die. You don't even have the die 8, so you might want that anyway. Although these guys do get, the bump to hit points, the same as the Draconic.
Yes.
They've used that a couple times.
Yeah, that seems to be the only weaving pattern in Sorcerer so far.
Yeah, yes, it's the go-to move.
Yeah, it's like, oh, clerics, we're gonna give you heavy armor and we're gonna give you plus to combat damage. Well, sorcerers, we're gonna give you a bump to hit points.
Well, I don't think there's any other ones outside of this Unearthed Arcana and the Draconic.
The Draconic?
Yeah,
the
outside of this Unearthed Arcana.
Okay, yeah.
But they hit it heavy in here, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. First level, you get a lot of stuff. Like we said, you get the bonus hit points. You can draw from the cleric level. Now, that's like more of a trade, but it still really branches out what you can do. Favorite of the gods. Yes, that's a good one.
All right, so already I am certain that Ryan is going to be raising a stink over this one
because it's so much better than Ben Luck.
Yes.
That a sorcerer has to wait until like 6th level to get.
So they get it right away, and it's 2d4 as opposed to d4,
and they don't spend anything.
They can just do it once per short or long rest.
Yes.
So I can imagine him sitting here grinding his teeth.
Yeah, I mean, in our game, we actually fixed it. We made it progress the same as the Bardic Inspiration.
Right.
And then that made it not so bad. Blessed Continents. This is really interesting in a sense because it gives you expertise in every single charisma-based skill that you're proficient in.
I must have breezed through that one, but yeah, whatever your choice, if your proficiency bonus applies to a charisma check, double that bonus.
Okay, so I don't English very well, people. So I had to read it a couple times. I'm like, are they talking about the charisma bonus or the proficiency bonus? But I believe they're talking basically about the proficiency bonus, so it would be essentially expertise in any charisma-based skill that you are proficient in.
I don't know, like, I'd have to see how the expertise goes for other ones, because a lot of them say something similar. So like, you should either have expertise or you don't, and it doesn't seem like they've solidified that wording, that verbiage.
Well, and even even among the designers, then they're not sure. Like, there's sometimes they're like, well, I would triple the bonus, if you have it from two different places, or like this is double, and then you would double again.
Right.
But traditionally in D&D, it's always a doubling becomes a triple anyway.
Yeah, a double is a triple, not a quadruple.
Yes, but it still would be ridiculous. Like if you're a bard or a rogue, and you have 6 levels in Sorcerer, if you really want to get crazy with those charisma skills. So I found that interesting.
Right.
And like favorite soul screams Azamar from Volo's Guide to Monsters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thus far. 14th level, Divine Purity. This one is nice. Immunity to disease. Okay, it's probably not going to come up that much, but when it does, you can flip the bird at disease. Immunity to poison damage. That's a good one. Second most damage type appearing in the monster manual beside fire.
Right.
They're neck and neck. It might even be more. But there is a lot of poison. And not only that, you're also immune to the poison condition.
Yeah, it's just like you're a pure blood Yontai.
Yeah. almost. So you wouldn't want to be a favorite soul Yontai because you're
Right.
boned.
That's right. So then 18th level, you get Unearthly Recovery. You can shrug off damage. As a bonus action, when you have less than half your hit points remaining, you gain a number of hit points equal to half your hit point maximum, and you can't use it again until you finish short rest. It's like
Long rest.
Yeah, long rest. My apologies. So it's like, yep, there you go. I'm good.
So favorite soul, I want to play one of these. These are really cool. The initial one, they kind of built it more like a class, and they made it more martial, where this one really is you're channeling more divine power. It was really cool. I like it. Phoenix Sorcery. Now this is one where we get to where I think this is the worst of the lot. Like it's thematic and kind of cool.
I love the thematic of it, and
I was thinking Ted would want to play this and be a pyromancer, but the truth of the matter is this one is, I think this is actually weaker than the Chaos Sorcerer.
Well, thematic wise, I dig it, and for that reason, you're 100% correct. I would love to play this. I had a pyromancer way back in the day, a 2nd edition. I thought he was awesome, and if I were to convert that character over to 5th, this is exactly where I'd put him.
Now, Ignite is their first level ability, of their ribbon ability, you would say, because basically they can set fires by touching stuff.
Yes, it's like, it's flammable, I touch it, it ignites.
You can't do damage or anything like that.
Right. Now, I'm certain I can set your beard on fire and,
You'll hurt my feelings for sure.
But, like, it's not enough to cause your face to really burn. It's just going to hurt your feelings because your beard goes away.
The keystone ability they get is at first level, and it's Mantle of Flame. It is cool, but there's some issues with it. But so basically, what you get is you shed bright light 30 foot, dim light 30 foot beyond that. So you're a torch out to 60 foot essentially.
Yeah, you're an awesome torch.
And, it takes a bonus action to do it. It lasts a minute. Any creature takes damage equal to your charisma modifier if it hits you with a melee attack within 5 feet of you, or it touches you. So essentially, you could touch people, and now you can burn them with that ability. Whenever you roll fire damage on your turn, you roll the roll gains a bonus equal to your charisma modifier. So you get to do your charisma modifier as bonus damage. Okay, it's not bad, but it's this ability you can only use it once a day.
Yeah.
And it lasts a combat 1 minute. Where I don't know, say a draconic sorcerer, don't they just pick their type and always do that damage? Yeah, so
I would think you should be able to use the Mantle of Flame a number of times a day equal to your charisma modifier as a minimum. So Phoenix Spark, 6th level. Here's where you actually get the nod to the actual monster Phoenix. If you get dropped to 0 hit points, you get the ability to explode and come back to 1 hit point.
Yeah, and you do damage. So you do a little bit of damage. It's half your sorcerer level.
Plus your charisma modifier. Unless you're actually using your Mantle of Flame when that happens. And then it's your sorcerer level plus double your charisma modifier, but your mantle's gone.
Yeah, so yeah.
And then later, you get to add more to that.
Yeah, so this one, again, this is after you finish a long rest. Okay, so it's not bad. It's like once a day you're going to be like, no, I didn't die. Kind of cool. Even better if you have your mantle going on. But again, it goes back to tied to that ability. 14th level, Your fire spells soothe and restore you. When you expend your spell slots to cast a spell includes fire damage. Roll damage to roll. You regain hit points equal to the slots plus your level charisma. So you get a little bit of healing.
And 18th level is the one that I was talking about. This is where you master your spark of fire. While under the effect of the mantle of your flame, you gain a fly speed of 40 and you can hover. You have resistance to all damage. Fantastic. And your Phoenix Spark, should you get dropped, adds an additional 20 damage. So you're 18th level, so you're getting, let's just assume your charisma is 20 at this point in time.
We'll make it easy. At 20th level, you do 50 points of damage in a 10-foot radius. It's not really that impressive at 20th level. And again, it's tied to that one ability that you get to use once a day. Once a day, this guy is going to really shine.
If he gets dropped, and he's surrounded by monsters that are all going to be able to die if they take 50 of them.
Well, I was just thinking he gets to use the other abilities from his mantle, but for the most part, everything's tied to that, except for Nourishing Flame, which is a cool ability. You get a little bit of healing every time you blast off fire spells. I like it. It's thematic. This is the one I feel is the weakest and my least favorite.
I can see how it's the weakest. Thematically of them, I like this one the most. And I'll leave it at that. So then we go to the Sea Sorcerer. First level, you get Soul of the Sea. I feel that this is one that any pirate seafaring campaign, you're gonna have a lot of people like, yeah, I'll take a level dip in this just to get a swim speed and be able to breathe water. It's just that I fell off the boat, no big deal.
I think this one is the most fun of all of them. And I'm not going to go out and say this is the one I would absolutely play, but thematically this one is the most fun because of the abilities you get. First level, okay, this is an ability that isn't going to come up that often. When it does, it is kind of cool. You can breathe underwater. You have a swim speed. Hurrah! If you're not anywhere near a body of water, pointless. Useless. But that being said, Curse of the Sea is interesting. Anytime you hit someone with a cantrip, any cantrip, that you hit them or they fail their saving throw, you get to curse them until the end of your next turn.
Right.
And what that curse does, if you use a spell on them that does cold damage, lightning damage,
or forced movement,
you get to do an extra effect. This part is really cool, and there's a ton of ways to use this. And I think it would come up and be a lot of fun.
I think so as well. Cold allows them, their speed is reduced by 15 feet. Lightning damage, they take extra lightning equal to your charisma modifier. And force movement, it pushes them an additional 15 feet.
What I like about this is you're not limited to one way of enacting the curse. So it's always going to be useful. You're always probably going to have the ability to either use cold or lightning or force movement, and you can pick and choose as you need. Where the Draconic Sorcerer generally tends to be locked into that one element. Mm-hmm. The Phoenix Sorcerer is going to be the same way. Right. And with no choice.
Yeah, we're limited to just fire.
Just fire. Where these guys are actually going to have some options. Chromatic Orb at first level becomes such an amazing spell for these guys.
Yes.
Because one of the things is it only has the effect. It only has damage effects, right? So now your lightning orb or your cold orb has an extra effect, either more damage or you can slow them down. I think it's really cool.
I 100% agree with you.
Or even Thunderwave, right? Thunderwave.
Force movement.
Yeah. Another, now you can push them back 25 feet. That's a big difference. Yeah, so that's nice. It's more. It's like what is it? It's 150% essentially.
So can you do a quicken spell off Thunder Wave and then Chromatic Orb to cold? So now that their speed is reduced by 15 feet, they're 25 feet away.
You could do Ray Frost.
Okay.
You can't do 2 first level spells.
Okay. Well,
unless, of course, you had 2 levels of fighter, and then you could do that.
Okay.
With action surge.
I'm just trying to see how can I push them so far away and then cold them so that they can't come back.
They can't come back. Yes. Next, at 6th level, they get Watery Defense. 6th level, gain resistance to fire damage. Awesome. When is that not going to be useful?
Yeah, not that the Phoenix Sorcerer never gets resistance to fire.
No.
Well, they get at 18th level, they get resistance to all damage in their mantle. But these guys are like, nah, I'm good. I'm 6th level.
And then the ability that they get that's really fun is it's a reaction. They can reduce the damage they take by their sorcerer level plus charisma score. And they can move up to 30 feet away. Basically, they turn into a water person. A person made out of water, and across the battlefield, which is pretty cool. I like that effect.
Yeah.
And they draw on that a little bit more, so it's definitely like gives them more like the elemental feel, like they are an elemental.
Right. 14th level, they get the ability to do shifting form. This is an interesting thing that allows you to move throughout the battlefield without drawing attacks of opportunity. Or, sorry, you still draw them, you just suffer half damage. But it also has the ability to, okay, well, I need to get into a small space. Well, I can do it because I'm liquid. Whee!
But not only that, you can actually move through the enemies as well.
Yes.
Like, they're not difficult terrain for you anymore. You just splash through them.
If you can move through a hole this big, going in between someone's legs is not really an issue.
That's not how I see it. I see them just splashing around them and keep going. But yeah, and like you said, though, you can actually you can squeeze through things that normally you wouldn't even be able to fit through and go like a keyhole or something.
Right. Well, without the actual squeezing rules.
Yes, which is pretty cool. Well, maybe not a keyhole. 3 inches is pretty big for a keyhole, but maybe a really big one.
Giant's keyhole.
Yeah, but then again, that might be like a crack under a door.
18th level, your being is altered by the power of the sea. You no longer need to eat or drink. A critical hit becomes a normal hit. You have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. Now, this is all the time.
Yes.
Whereas the Phoenix Sorcerer is only while you're mantle, which is once a day, for a minute. So...
Watts, why do you hate the Phoenix? Why do you hate it so much?
So, and fire damage is the thing that the most monsters have resistance to.
Yes.
So here it's like, all right, well,
they should at least given them like an aversion of elemental affinity to go with all that fiery goodness.
Right.
But alas, they do not. Now we get to one. Now this is also another one where Stone Sorcery. Okay, the problem with Stone Sorcery is it's very, very martial. I think it's thematic. I would love to play a Hill Dwarf Stone Sorcerer, but again, like we did our Gish videos, and the biggest problem with a Gish is you're always better off just casting spells, and what this sorcerer does really well is get into melee.
I look at this as there isn't a stacking of abilities that deal with, I want to get into melee. You know, when you go with a Eldritch Knight, that's a melee-based class that is augmented by magic. So that's fine. But if you go with, say, your Blade Lock, you have these things that augment you want to get into combat for at least the first half of your class. And then once you start picking up those 5th, 6th, 7th level spell slots, it's like, all right, well, why would I go into melee when I've got these?
Well, even your cantrips are better. But that being said, that's something different.
Sorry, another conversation.
Yeah, bonus proficiency. First level, you gain proficiency with shields, simple weapons, and martial weapons. All right, you have them if you need them. And carrying a shield's always good. +2 to armor class, I'll take it.
Yes.
Metal magic. Okay, so this is essentially gives you more spells on your spell list. Now, there are some things here that are interesting, and I'd have to reread Twin Spell. But one of the things they get is a lot of smites. They basically get all the smites, elemental weapon, and do they get magic weapon, elemental weapon,
and all the smites,
and all the smites up to 4th level for the paladin. So my question is, if you hit someone with a smite, can you twin it?
I would have to see the wording on smite.
On Twin Spell more so, because it's like Twin Spell takes effect whenever you target one creature with a spell, and you are doing that. So I want to smite you so hard your mama's going to feel it. Essentially,
and your mama's standing right next to you, so I can do that.
Well, no, I don't think it works that way. I hit you with the smite, and then
it affects the other person.
Then that's why I definitely have to read that. But that would be very interesting if you can do it. And then, because the smite's basically the component of that is when the next creature you hit, then the spell takes effect.
Right.
So does it work where you're going to have to take another swing at someone else, or it's a little bit of a weird area.
Yeah, I think so. Stone's durability. I actually had to read this one a couple of times. Again, this is at first level. So at first level, your connection to stone gives you extra fortitude. You get that additional 1 hit point, and anytime you gain a level in this class, you get an additional more. Just like the other ones. But I had to read this part twice. As an action, you gain a base armor class of AC 13 plus your Constitution modifier, and we've seen this kind of setup before. So
Monk, barbarian,
right. Monk uses wisdom. Barbarian uses con, and then the sorcerer uses charisma.
No. So Sorcerer's just Dex.
No, the Draconic Sorcerer.
Yeah, it's 13 armor class plus your Dex.
Oh, okay. All right. So they're not. All right. So the stone one is even better then.
It is completely different than anything else because one, it is your AC is 13 plus your Constitution modifier. That's it. If you aren't wearing armor and your skin assumes stony appearance, this effect lasts until as you end it as a bonus action, you're incapacitated or you don't armor other than a shield, which says to me that this works with a shield.
Right.
So first level character, 18 armor class, possible.
Yep.
So which is good. I mean, now you have proficiency with that martial weapon. You get that bonus hit point.
Well, your Dex would still apply to this.
No.
Just like the Barbarian. Barbarian's going to get Con and Dex.
Yeah, but it actually says it in there. This will replace, however, you have to pick and choose which way you're gaining your armor class. They're all like that.
All right, we'll have to.
Even if it's worded poorly, I can guarantee you it's meant to be exclude your Dex. All the armor class things, you pick and choose which way you want to generate your armor class. Stone Aegis. Starting at 6th level, you command Earth. Your command of Earth magic grows stronger, allowing you to harness it for your allies' protection. So, as a bonus action, you can basically, send this stone shield off to protect one of your allies. We go back to that weird mechanic that they introduced with, I believe, the Barbarian, where it's 2 plus your sorcerer level divided by 4.
It's really weird. So basically, as soon as you get this,
2 points.
2 points.
It's a really complicated way to say it. 2 points. I feel like a chart would have been easier.
And as you grow, it's gonna go up a little bit. So at 20th level, divided by 4, you're only reducing it by 5. 4 was it slashing and piercing? Any bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage is going to be reduced.
Yeah, any physical damage essentially.
So by the time you're 20th level, actually 18 really, it's going to reduce 5.
But that being said, it's just a reduction of damage, and it's all the time. So it's not bad. It's not like if after it's used it goes away. It's just on them every round, taking off that amount of damage. But it doesn't stop there.
In addition, when a creature you can see within 60 feet of you hits the protected target with a melee attack, you can use your reaction to teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 5 feet of the attacker. You can teleport only if you and the attacker are on the same surface. You can then make one melee weapon attack against the attacker. If the attack hits, it deals an extra 1d10 force damage that scales 2d10 at 11th and 3d10 at 17th.
So I kind of feel like with this one, like you're kind of getting sucked into the surface and traveling beneath it.
Yeah.
And then you pop up. Maybe your hand's sticking up. Maybe it's not. I know. I was thinking shark fin. But
I was thinking Shoryuken or something.
But yeah, and then you get that bonus damage. So that's what I mean. Like this one ability puts you right in the thick of melee, and I don't know if that's where you really want to be as a sorcerer. The only good thing is you get that bonus hit point on level. You have that good armor class. But still, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if that's where you want to be. 14th level, we have Stone's Edge.
So your mastery of earth magic allows you to add the force of elemental earth to your spells. When you cast a spell that deals damage, choose one creature damaged by that spell around you cast it. The creature takes extra force damage equal to half your sorcerer level. It can only be used once per casting of a spell. So you're adding a little extra damage. At 14th level, so 7 to 10 damage
all the time.
Every round, as long as you're casting spells. It's like, all right, well, by this point in time, you realize you've got the ability to do things in melee, but you never get your second attack, so you're really not focused on it. You just know how to do it.
It's actually better than the ability that the Draconic gets, or even the Phoenix gets, because like anytime you do damage, you can just tap into this. Where the only difference is they have the ability to do that damage to multiple targets, where you can only use it against one. But you're not limited in how to do it. You do it however you want. Yep. Force damage, fire damage, acid damage. It doesn't really matter.
Whenever you cast a spell, boom, there you go.
Earth's Master Aegis. This is probably like the weakest of the 18th, but it's not bad. Well, all right, I'm not gonna say it's the weakest. It's still better. It's still kind of better than the Phoenix, because basically this is that 6th level ability, but you get to use it on 3 people. You're going to mitigate a lot of damage throughout the course of a battle if you got this on 3 people.
Right. So your Stone Aegis that you give to a friend at 6th level, at 18th level you can give it to 3 people. That's enough. That's enough that at this point in time, any physical damage is being mitigated by 5, and you're going to be able to teleport around the battlefield and smack the crap out of some things.
Well, that's true.
Now you can only use one reaction a turn.
Yes.
But you're going to be able to use that reaction far more often, and since you're 18th level now, those attacks are coming with a 3-10 extra bump.
It's going to hurt a bit.
Indeed.
So that is the new Sorcerer Origins from the Unearthed Arcana. Like I said, this is actually, in my opinion, one of the best ones. It's really good. You get a lot. We have a lot of choices with 4 of them, and I want to say 2 of them are awesome. One of them's really good. One gets, I guess, credit for being thematic.
All right, so you're saying the sea is awesome.
Yeah.
So is the favorite soul or the stone awesome?
The favorite soul.
All right, so sea and favorite soul are awesome. The stone is pretty good, and the phoenix is. You tried.
yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah, my thing with the stone one, and I would probably play this one, guys. And it doesn't really have any basis on, and Ted would probably play the Phoenix one. So it doesn't have any basis on that per se, but when I compare them, mechanically to the other ones, again, I feel like anytime you take a spellcasting class and go, here's some things to make you better in melee, it's like, well, gee, thanks. Because if I'm a spellcaster, the last thing you really should probably be doing is going into melee. That's not your home. Stay away from it.
So, what do you guys think? Have you read this? Do you agree with us? Disagree with us? We're going to talk about that down in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out at nerdarchy.com.
So until next time, stay nerdy.